Your greatest weakness is not your anger. It is not your fear. It is not even your sadness. Your greatest weakness is your reaction. That instant reflexive jerk of your emotions when someone pushes your button. That satisfying explosive retort. That desperate need to correct, to explain, to defend your character. In that moment, you believe you are asserting power. You are not. You are performing a script they wrote for you. You are handing them the remote control to your inner state. Every reaction, every flash of anger, every ripple of anxiety, every spark of defensiveness is a signature on a contract that reads, "You own me." What if the ultimate power move wasn't a better reaction, but the total, deliberate and ruthless abolition of reaction? What if you could become so emotionally void, so psychologically impervious, that attempts to provoke you simply evaporated? Not by suppressing, but by ascending to a vantage point where their dramas are so beneath you, they don't even register as worthy of a neuronal flicker. This is not mindfulness. This is strategic nullification. We are not teaching peace. We are teaching you to become a psychological black hole, a gravitational void from which no emotional energy can escape. Reaction is submission. Today, we cut the strings. But the stone is the ultimate power. It does not react to heat or cold. It does not flinch at the hammer. It endures, indifferent, immutable. Your emotions have been the hammer and the chisel others use to sculpt you into their desired shape. Machiavelli's stone is the realization of emotional sovereignty, the state where your internal climate is severed from external weather. The manipulator, the narcissist, the emotional terrorist, they all share one currency, your reactive fuel. Their power exists only in the echo you provide. Become the stone, become the void, withdraw the currency, and watch their economy collapse. If you are ready to bankrupt every manipulator in your life, hit subscribe, type stone in the comments. That is your oath of strategic indifference. Let's begin. Understand this with cold precision. Every social interaction is a covert auction for control. The bait is a provocative statement, a guilt trip, a backhanded compliment, a calculated injustice. Your reaction is the bid. When you react, you bid your emotional energy, your attention, your precious inner peace. And you lose. Because the auction is rigged, the provocateur is both the auctioneer and the secret buyer. They are not interested in the item, they are interested in your transaction. They want to see you pay. They want the proof that they can make you pay. Your anger, that's a high-value bid. Your defensiveness, a solid bid. Your anxious explanation, a bid. Even your heartfelt plea for understanding is a bid that reveals your hand. You are trapped in a game where the only way to win is to refuse to play, to not bid, to look at the auctioneer, recognize the rigged table, and silently walk out of the casino. Your entire life, you've been trained to believe that not reacting is weak, that silence is acceptance, that indifference is defeat. This is the grand lie sold to the emotionally exploitable. The truth is the inverse. Reaction is the confession of your leash. Non-reaction is the declaration of your sovereignty. You may have heard of the grey rock method, to become boring, uninteresting like a grey rock, to avoid attracting manipulators. It is a useful tactic, but it is a beginner's posture. It is still a performance. You're actively trying to be uninteresting. You are doing something to avoid a reaction. This means you are still engaged in their frame. Your energy is still oriented around them, around not giving them what they want. This is a subtle but critical slavery. You are the rock, but you are a rock defined by the foot that tries to kick you. We are going beyond. We are not becoming a rock that is kicked. We are becoming the void that the foot passes through. The difference is existential. Greyrock says, I will not give you a reaction. The void says, you are incapable of registering as a stimulus worthy of my cognitive machinery. It is not about suppressing a response. It is about having the provocation fail to even arrive at the gate of your consciousness. How? By internally recalibrating your hierarchy of value, you must see the provocateur not as an adversary, but as irrelevant noise, as background static, as a speck of dust on the lens of a telescope pointed at galaxies. They are beneath your reaction, not because you are strong, but because they are insignificant. This is the practical architecture of the void. It is a three-layer protocol of perceptual, physiological, and psychological annihilation. Layer 1, perceptual nullification. Before a word leaves their mouth, you frame them. You see them not as a person with power, but as a biological entity emitting sound waves. See the words as phonetic vibrations, not semantic meaning. Watch their face as a series of muscle contractions. This anthropological detachment strips the emotional payload from their communication. Layer 2, physiological sovereignty. Your body is the battleground. They need to see the cortisol flush, the tightened jaw, the accelerated breath. You must master the strategic pause. When the provocation lands, you implement a full somatic reset. One deliberate, slow breath that engages the diaphragm. This is not to calm down. It is to assert that your autonomic nervous system operates on your command, not their stimulus. In that pause, you have already won. The reaction window closes. Layer 3, psychological ascension. This is the internal narrative. The moment they provoke, you activate a single silent mantra. This is not relevant to my empire. Your mind is an empire. Its resources, attention, emotional energy, cognitive focus are allocated only to projects of conquest and construction. Petty provocation is not a line item in the budget. It is fiscal insolvency. You dismiss it not with willpower, but with the effortless disinterest of a king ignoring a beggar's curse. You are not refusing to give them a reaction. You are revealing that, in your psychological economy, they are bankrupt. When you master this void, you initiate a catastrophic power shift. You are no longer a player in their game. You are the physicist who has rendered their game's laws obsolete. They will experience a profound, unnerving cognitive dissonance. Their provocation was a key designed to fit the lock of your reactive mechanism. But you have removed the lock. The key turns in empty air. This creates a psychological vacuum, and nature abhors a vacuum. Their unspent emotional energy will recoil back into them, multiplied. They will panic, they will escalate, they will try louder, sharper, more grotesque keys. Watch with detached curiosity as they flail. This is the sign your void is working. You are no longer the subject of their experiment, you are the observer of their desperation. This is where you gain the unspoken advantage. The ability to see their true, fragile, chaotic core, while yours remains opaque, impenetrable, and serene. Your silence becomes a mirror that reflects their monstrosity back at them. Your indifference becomes a spotlight on their neediness. You win not by fighting, but by forcing them to confront the emptiness of their own power, an emptiness that was always there, but hidden by the spectacle of your reactions. The final stage is the integration of the void into your permanent state of being. This is emotional sovereignty realized. Your emotional climate is no longer a democracy subject to the votes of others' behavior. It is an absolute monarchy. You decide what merits a feeling. External events are merely data points. You alone hold the interpretation key. In this aftermath, relationships transform or evaporate. Manipulators, deprived of their sustenance, will flee. True connections, based on mutual respect rather than emotional extraction, will deepen. Your energy, once siphoned into countless reactive dramas, now consolidates into a formidable inner reservoir. This reservoir fuels your real-world ambitions, your creativity, your strategic thinking. You become cold, not as a lack of humanity, but as the supreme efficiency of a system that no longer wastes energy on irrelevant thermal noise. You win, not because you defeated your enemies, but because you dissolved the very concept of an enemy. They are now atmospheric phenomena, and you are the climate. We began at the auction house of your soul, where every reaction was a bid for your own control. We exposed the reaction trap and its rigged economy. We transcended the grey rock method, moving from performance to existential void. We built the protocol for becoming the void: perceptual, physiological, and psychological nullification. We witnessed the unspoken advantage, the panic and power reversal that your indifference engineers. And we arrived at the sovereign aftermath, where emotional void is not a tactic, but your state of being. Your transformation is complete, from a reactive stimulus response machine to an emotionally sovereign entity. You have not learned to control your reactions. You have learned to make the world's attempts to provoke you irrelevant. Your power now lies in the void you cultivate, a void that absorbs all dramas and returns only silence. This silence is not passive. It is the most active declaration of power you will ever make. If you are ready to embody this absolute indifference, declare it. Comment "stone" below. Let that word be the final reaction you ever give to their game. This channel is the forge where psychological armor is tempered. We do not teach comfort. We teach strategic invincibility, Machiavellian detachment, and emotional sovereignty. If you are committed to a life beyond the reach of provocation, to winning by refusing to play, this is your necessary intelligence. Subscribe now, and whatever you do, don't stop now. The on-screen video matters more than you think. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. I'll see you there. See what others miss, know what others fear, become who others can't.